My name is Sam Lark. I'm one of the directors of the Leicester Startups Community Interest Company. And about 8 years ago, I came across a local entrepreneur who just read Brad Feld's Startup Communities, and he was inspired to build Leicester's first community for innovative and scalable startups. It began with a few casual meetups, and I went to one or two of those very early on, and later became a LEP-funded project led by Leicester University. That project ended September last year, and everything we now deliver is channeled through the not-for-profit company that I mentioned earlier. So we've gone on to do a huge range of things. This accelerator is just one example. We also opened a co-working space in Phoenix Yard, Upper Brown Street, Leicester City Centre, very reasonable rates, shameless plug. We formed a partnership involving the other two local universities and the City Council. We run a weekly help desk. We offer mentoring support through our help engine. We've got thousands of followers on social media, a series of podcasts. And in fact, I'll pause there. I'll put a link to our website. So if you'd like to know anything more about what we do, you can visit that. And I'll do that once I've got this bit out of the way. So we're committed to delivering all of this free of charge, thanks to funding from the LEP, but also one or two other organisations and some individual sponsors who you'll meet shortly. And of course, the British Business Bank have been very kind to us, and Lewis Strunger and I are at an event today, and so we're very grateful to them. So our accelerator, well, this is the fourth one we've run. You can view the demo days for our previous three on our YouTube channel. And I can't believe we've delivered so many in 18 months, which I think demonstrates just how much the local ecosystem is thriving. And in fact, we're starting another accelerator this coming March, next month, funded through the Community Renewal Fund. And there's details of that on our website. So I've been really impressed by the level of commitment and engagement of all the participants. I said that of the previous three. I genuinely mean it. The drop-off rate, well, we haven't had one for this cohort, which is fantastic. And if you like what you hear and see today, and you're the founder of an early stage innovative startup, then please reach out to us, get in touch. So our format for the session, we've changed it from the previous one. We're going to hear all 9 participants pitch back to back for 5 minutes. And then we're going to park the feedback and input from the panel members, and I'll introduce them shortly, in the final 40-ish minutes, as long as I don't let it overrun too much. And so just to be mindful, this session is being recorded. Please turn off your cameras and microphones if you're an attendee. But please also feel free to use the chat. We may not have the capacity to consider or hear or raise all the questions, but we'd love to hear what you have to say anyway. So big round of thank yous. Well, I mentioned the LEP and the British Business Bank earlier, of course, both of the universities and the City Council. The list of individuals that have helped us run the accelerator and also other community events is it's phenomenal. There are way too many names to mention, but I'm going to have a go at picking off some random ones in no particular order. Folks like Reginda Bowie, Lewis Stringer, Jim Shields, Leanne Bonner-Cook, David Chan, Elliot Perry. We're joined by Jim Willis today. You're going to hear from him. There's just way too many, but we really couldn't do it without you folks. So if any of you are on the call, really appreciate that. And of course, the panel members. We'll get an intro from them shortly. So before we start, though, we're going to hear from 5 now separate sponsors who've all pledged some money to help us, help the community. But it's a sponsorship option when you register to attend these sessions. And so I've got 3 in-person, 1 to 2 minute max of those to go through. And then there are 2 videos that I'm going to show. So we'll do that, and then we'll introduce the judges, and then we'll get into the really exciting bit. So Raza, you're on my screen. You just bought a sponsorship ticket recently, very recently. So would you mind taking a minute or two just to say who you are, what you do, and then why perhaps you sponsored us?
Oh yeah, definitely. So thanks, Sam. It's amazing to see all the great work you guys are doing. Hi everyone. It's really exciting to see such novel concepts from Gamanity, Dissertology, Membrance, Saving Peas, Book a Driving Instructor, Playrz, Reignite, Tattel. All of these are just amazing concepts. Uh, Myself, Raza, I represent Impero IT Services, a startup aligned app development company based in Ireland and India. We help startups to scale bigger, quicker, and in budget. Some of the top startups we have worked with are Teach Cloud, Keep Happy, Scoreboard, Promotion, to name a few. A few quick facts. So, four of our clients were selected among top 30 under 30 rising business stars by our independent newspaper. We were also covered by Forbes last year for providing excellent app development services across the globe. Startups we have worked with have been valued at more than $250 million. Apps we have developed have got combined downloads of more than 10 million. Couple of our applications have got into top 30 in Apple Store. One of the application was selected for mentorship by Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. Another app was selected by Google under Adopt a Startup program. So we have been working a lot around startup industries. In fact, we are very much aligned towards providing the best, quick, and cost-effective services to the startup industry. And when I saw all these amazing startups, I thought it would be worthwhile to take a minute of each of them and share something what we are doing. So we are very much open to provide complimentary technical consultations to all the startup founders here and help you plan your startup journey. Do remember my name, Raza from Impero IT Services, and I wish you all a great pitch today. Thank you.
Thank you, Raza. Very kind of you. I'm going to ask Jim to go next, please.
Everyone, really excited to be here today and learn a lot more about what your respective offers are and to meet some exciting people too. So I'm a co-founder of Bulb. Bulb's a digital agency based here in Leicester, and we specialise in digital products. So helping everything from the UX, UI and user research start of the journey through to full stack development and deployment and campaign work as well to support digital products. So yep, I'm an active investor and also director of several startups that are going on a very exciting journey. So hopefully I can offer some relevant advice at the respective stages of your journeys too. All the best with your pitches today and good luck.
Thanks, Jim. Next, we're joined by someone who's on the west coast of America. Rick, would you mind telling us all about everything that you've done, if you can, in this, if that's possible?
Well, yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me a little bit of time. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Tarosi, co-founder and general manager of a project here in Portland, Oregon, in the US called Pi. Pi, at its very most basic, is an ongoing experiment to figure out how established organizations like corporations or government entities or educational institutions can effectively collaborate with startups for mutual benefit. And I came to know Ben and the program over the course of the pandemic and learned that some documentation we published called the Pi Cookbook, which was really just us documenting how we do what we do and sharing it with the world. Learned that Ben and team used some of that as inspiration to build this program. So I'm honored and humbled to be here among you. Always enjoy seeing startups pitch their stuff. And so this is like Christmas morning for me. I got up at 3:30 to come see this. So best of luck to everyone. And I'm looking forward to your pitches.
Thanks, Rick. And I think it's safe to say we plagiarized your Pi Cookbook to bits. And it's well worth checking out your TED Talk as well. Very grateful. Right, I'm going to attempt to play 2 videos now. So just bear with me whilst I find those.
Who's anybody ever really? I would describe myself as a knowledge seeker. So I'm passionate about young people because I genuinely believe the fate of this continent rests on their shoulders. So everybody who's over 40, which I am over, you have a responsibility to help these young people, to help this next generation thrive. I follow tech, so technology has been my way to help that impact. So with that, I asked myself a question, okay, what can I do that can impact the lives of so many more young people, and also allow me to achieve my own personal success that I want in that same process. And that's the reason why I started Adenian Lab as a venture studio. The whole idea of Adenian Lab was a technology-based venture studio that allow us to build more startups, create more jobs, create more wealth, but more importantly, give them a stronger possibility of success.
Great. Hopefully everyone heard that. And I've got one final one, and then we're going to get into the really exciting bit.
We are here for your business. From the midnight thought to the daily grind. From the financial challenges every business faces to the ones that nobody could have imagined. Whether you're looking to start up a new venture, sustain momentum, or gear up for growth, the British Business Bank is here. We help providers offer you more finance and funding choices. So whatever your next step, from purchasing equipment to funding marketing, or simply managing cash flow, we're here to help you discover the finance options available. And because we're experts in small business finance, we're focused on supporting businesses right across the UK. From cafe owners in Cardiff to manufacturers in Manchester, we truly understand what your business means to you and what it means to see it succeed. So when you're looking for expert and impartial financial information and support, the British Business Bank can help you find a way.
I'm going to ask Sarah from Stak Orthopedics to go first. Actually, just before you do, sorry, I should have said earlier, some of the startups have brought along a project champion or a startup champion just to sort of talk about why they feel that this particular startup is really relevant to them, and they deserve to be here. So you've got someone called Toby, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Toby, can you hear us? Would you like to say tell us why you're here to represent Stacks for about 30 seconds, please?
Okay, so I'm Tony, and I had a total knee replacement, my right knee 2 years ago, and basically developed scar tissue. I had a further operation to manipulate the knee. That wasn't successful. The physio I had at the time wasn't very good because it was basically across two different health authorities, Stamford and Peterborough and Leicestershire. And so basically I've literally limped along in that period of time. I then saw Professor Ashford at the LRI, and he said to me, had I heard of Stak and Sarah? And I said, I had seen a little bit. I knew that she was doing a trial. Anyway, I met up, spoke to Sarah, and I knew we'd have a good connection. And basically I've been on the Stak, and it's really proved worthwhile. Have a Zoom meeting with Sarah and also go over there for physio, and it's made a big difference. I now have got a bend about 100, just below 100 in my knee, and I think I was around about 65 to 70. So it's made a huge difference, and I think I've been on it about 3 weeks. So I think, if I keep going and going and listening to Sarah when she says you've got to push yourself, Tony, I think it's going to be really good. It's, to me, it could be a lifesaver.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'm sorry for calling you Toby. Didn't hear properly. So Sarah, would you like to start your presentation, please?
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I've really enjoyed this accelerator. I've learned so much, and I hope you're going to enjoy this presentation. We're going to tell you a little bit more about the Stak Tool medical stretching device. So I'm a physiotherapist by background, and the Stak Tool is a patented medical stretching device that patients can use at home to stretch their knee after knee replacement when they've got something called arthrofibrosis. Arthrofibrosis is an exaggerated inflammatory response to surgery or injury. You can see here where the scar tissue has been laid down in the joint on this diagram here on the right. Range of movement is crucial for daily activities. This is what is deemed, 90 degrees is deemed as a good outcome after knee replacement, but really functionally to be able to carry out daily activities, you need at least 110. Patients sometimes end up with just 65 degrees or even less, and they're very severe cases. It has a debilitating effect on their lives in all aspects. So we did a clinical trial through a PhD at Loughborough University, and the results were fantastic. The patients using the Stak tool for only 8 weeks increased by 30 degrees compared to just 8 degrees in the group of patients just having standard physiotherapy. We also measured pain, stiffness and physical function, which also increased similar amounts, and all these important outcome measures were maintained at long-term follow-up a year later. NICE is also in support of the device. So why is standard treatment failing? Just lack of resources. I mean, NHS or private sector can't produce physiotherapy sessions daily, and that's what's needed to break down this scar tissue or prevent scar tissue from forming. Daily stretching at home. So patients can't generate this stretch at home with home exercises, and 10% of patients end up having to have a manipulation under anaesthetic, and sometimes even revision surgery where they redo the joint. Both very costly. On the clinical trial, we actually had patients who'd had these procedures which had failed, like Tony's had a manipulation and that hadn't worked. But then from using the Stak tool, they get success and they get their lives back. So this is just to emphasise, so here on the left is home exercises. Research shows it's just 10% of the torque of that applied by a physiotherapist. Here on the right, you can see the high intensity stretching performed by a physio, and this is what the Stak tool is mimicking. Here is the Stak tool. It's high intensity device. It's very motivating. Patients can see these small increments as they move down the scale, which motivates them that although it's painful to do, it's really rewarding, and they almost get addicted to it. The patient's in complete control of their pain threshold. Another key thing is that it allows remote monitoring of patients' progress, which is really key. They haven't actually got to come and attend a clinic in the hospital or in a private physiotherapy clinic. So there's a huge growing market. 20 to 30% of patients are very dissatisfied after a knee replacement. That's a statistic that all of us in the field know about and are trying to fix. Total knee replacement is going to increase by 6 times by 2030 due to rising obesity and longevity. But there's also a huge market internationally. I've got international patents granted, and there's a big market in the USA, which I'm keen to look into. This is just to show that other groups, not just knee replacements, can also benefit: arthritis, trauma patients, ankle stiffness, spasticity. My competitor here on the left is in America. They are a very expensive device and very cumbersome. And then here on the right, this one is available in the UK, but it's very expensive, $600. It's a single-use item, and it requires customised fitting, and the lead time is quite long because they actually get it shipped over from the US. And the early treatment, it's quite important that treatment is done as early as possible. And simply, the results just aren't as good. They only went to 25 degrees. So learning from this accelerator and my customers, which I've been treating over the last few weeks, patients are happy to pay $210 to hire the device for 4 weeks. They're happy to pay for $320 for 4 supporting Stak physiotherapy sessions conducted by myself. The majority will buy online, but also important routes to market are going to be the surgeons and physiotherapists, which is currently, I haven't got a website at the moment, so currently my referrals are coming from surgeons. And some patients are doing so well, like Tony, that they actually want an advanced board. So I've actually been designing a new board, which will be for advanced performers. Physiotherapists, I've been speaking to physiotherapists. There's a physiotherapist in Liverpool who wants to get Stak trained. It means that they can see patients outside of their local geographical area. Circle Hospital, private hospitals are very keen. Circle Hospital is the biggest private healthcare group in the UK. They've got 52 hospitals, and they're currently conducting a pilot at 3 sites. Exeter NHS Trust have 2 Stak tools, which they're hiring for a year. Nottingham and Northumberland, I'm doing negotiations with them at the moment, and they will be purchasing some too. This is my double-sided business model. And so here you've got simple hire the Stak tool as the basic. Then you've got the Zoom consultations. Then I will offer face-to-face physiotherapy for people that want to come to my clinic, which will be more expensive. I'm looking at possibly selling the device to patients after they've completed the programme. I'm unsure about this at the moment. And then private physiotherapists, there's an opportunity there for them to be Stak trained and then treat their patients. Or do I just give them a training video? I'm not sure. Then Stak community, quite a few patients have actually been asking, can I speak to some of the people who are going through the same thing as me? You know, I feel so alone with this stiff knee and it's really depressing. It'd be great to just speak to others and sort of motivate each other. So potentially maybe they could subscribe to having like a support system for a community of similar patients. And then looking at maybe doing a Stak training course that people could do like a half day. These are just potential ideas. This is just MVP for my website. It'll obviously look a lot better than this. I've literally just put together what will be on it. And then in the future, I think it'd be great to actually develop an app to go alongside the tool to help with remote monitoring. And that's it. I actually have a patient video I could share with you, but if I've not got time, then that's fine, but I have it here.
Thanks, Sarah. Well done. Right, we have Martin next, please.
Okay, great. Afternoon, everybody. I'm Martin Lewis, founder of Membrance Limited. So Membrance helps families to remember their loved ones. We offer a range of printed and digital memorial products through a custom platform that make planning a funeral easier for both the family and for the funeral homes. So sadly, my introduction to the sector happened when my dad passed away a few years ago. And I found planning the funeral really, really stressful. I owned a design agency for about 6 years. So I know the design software inside out, but I couldn't do everything I wanted to within the harsh time limit and under the emotional stress to make the materials I wanted to. And on top of that, I had a lot of anxiety about how do I tell everybody about what's happened, how many people would come to the service, how much funeral stationery to buy, the wake venue size, and how many people should I cater for. It was a really, really difficult time. And it kind of sent me on this journey of trying to build better products for the funeral industry and solve some of the operational pain in delivering them. So the first product I designed was a digital funeral notice that could be delivered with a custom URL that gives you the death notice at the front and a very beautiful template to show the deceased personality, but key functionality as well with RSVP modules so that people can get real-time data about who's coming to the funeral and what services they have to buy in, etc. On top of that, the tight time frame, even for me, who uses InDesign every day, made us need to create a really, really intuitive UI. And yeah, the whole Membrance system is really, really beautiful and easy for anybody to use. The actual printed products themselves, I believe, are industry leading. I don't think anybody's put this much effort into creating really beautiful funeral stationery. And we don't only cater for the funeral. We have this kind of mantra where we're for the funeral, for the wake, and then to never forget. So a few months down the line, we can keep in contact with some of our clients and offer them these other amazing products that allow them to memorialize their loved one. That's the product side of things. And then we enter into the operational pain. And this comes from the funeral homes. They're actually our route to market. So these guys are usually saddled with making all this stuff. And as part of my research, I wanted to find out why they're so bad at it. I mean, a lot of these guys have firms that have been running for generations. So you'd think they'd have got a bite on it by now. But no, most of them told me that they're a real headache. They really struggle with them and that they're just not set up to deal with them. So it was obvious that we would have to solve this operational pain if we wanted to partner with them and give them a commission for every one of their clients that used our platform. The way we've done that is with really, really powerful tools. So we have a CRM that's built in to take in all of the essential data. We have incredibly robust databases full of songs and hymns and poems and everything else, so that you can get that granular detail into our products without having to copy and paste anything. And then amazing job order management tools that make sure even within those 10-day periods that everything is running on track and everybody's putting information into the system as and when they need to. Let's have a look at the market a little bit. So the UK funeral industry is worth about 4 billion a year, and your average funeral in the UK is about 6.5 grand, and it breaks down into three basic costs. So you've got your funeral director's fees. That's everything they're actually good at, which is embalming a body and transporting from locations. Other basic costs, which are maybe booking a crematorium or buying a burial plot. And then we have the discretionary services, and this is where Membrance lives. So we really want to be able to offer funeral directors currently set up to just deal with the bodies, this incredible platform and package of products for their clients. Funeral homes come in different shapes and sizes. So we've got about 2,000 of them in the UK. I've excluded Co-op and Dignity from these numbers for obvious reasons. We can see we've got the type A's here, which is maybe a husband and wife team, and we go right up to band D, which is large groups that maybe have 20 homes and do a lot more business. The bigger the funeral home, the more money we can make from their clients, essentially, because every funeral is an opportunity to use our platform. So if we have a look at traction so far, we've had 6 concierge customers serviced to date. We had our first paying concierge customer last week, which was fantastic. We created our first order of service through our system, which is amazing. And we now have our MVP ready to test. And we already have 2 funeral homes in our development group looking to trial the software. Going into the future, this is how many homes we'd like to get signed up within those different bands. And we can see by year 5, if we get around 130 of them, we can make a turnover of just under 3 million there. And that's just with order sheets modeling those at the moment. We have an amazing business team. We've just had 3 developers come on that have spent the past 12 months creating the MVP itself. And then we have commercial partners such as Neil Colburn, director of Lithgow Press, that have created all the prototypes with us, and then our 2 funeral directors that have been working with us to trial the software. So at the moment, we're looking for people to come onto our advisory board and offer us further links into the industry. Thank you very much for your time.
Well done, Martin. Your turn to relax. Thank you very much. Right, next up, we have Joe, please.
So hi, I'm Paul Osborne. I run Startup Circle, which is an early stage incubator using lean startup principles. And our program actually specializes in bootstrapping businesses, both great and small. Now, Joe and James joined my program back in December last year after attending the Startup Weekend, which was run by Leicester Startups and Andrew Constable of Visualize. So we've been working together over the last few months on bringing an MVP to market. And so with that, I'm incredibly proud and delighted to introduce Joe and his Booker Driving Instructor app.
Well, as always, thanks a lot, Paul. So hi, I'm Joe. Welcome to my presentation about Booker Driving Instructor. Many years ago, I started taking driving lessons. During one conversation with my instructor, he mentioned how it would be useful to have an app to help driving instructors manage their business. I thought nothing of it at the time. A few years later, I was taking lessons again. I mentioned to my instructor that I was studying computer science at university. Pretty much the first thing he said was, "Oh great, could you design an app for driving instructors?" So thinking there may be an opportunity available, I decided to research the idea further with my co-founder James. We've been working on the idea since for the last 2 years. Everyone at some point needs to learn to drive. When I was learning, I realized there was a problem. Independent driving instructors don't have the resources of large franchises. After carrying out market research, I learned that a lot of independent instructors still have a manual process, using physical logbooks and taking cash payments. This method is time-consuming, error-prone, and can lead to missed payments when a learner cancels a lesson. Since the lockdowns were lifted, another problem has arisen. It has become more difficult for new learners to find an instructor. Book a driving instructor is a direct replacement for this existing manual system and allows learners to book and prepay for lessons. This automates the manual process and prevents non-payment due to cancellations. The app is aimed at independent driving instructors. However, small independent schools with less than 10 instructors would also use the app to manage their instructor pool. New students can use the app to search for a local instructor that fits their preferences, removing the painful, time-consuming process of searching for an instructor that fits their needs. There are approximately 40,000 driving instructors in the UK, with over 1 million driving lessons booked each week. At an average of £25 a lesson, this equates to around £28 million spent on driving lessons each week in the UK. In regards to the competition, there are two basic business models. One's a CRM with the emphasis on managing lessons for current students. The other one is a marketplace for booking gaps where potential students can find instructors and book lessons. Total Drive's direct competitor operating nationally. It is a CRM for driving instructors. Their packages range from £10 to £24 a month. Drivio is a marketplace that currently operates in Greater London. It helps instructors fill gaps in their schedule and charges a 5% booking fee. Book a driving instructor is different as we blend both these business models together, both managing existing customers and providing a marketplace for new students to find available instructors. As there is no current app currently operating with this model, we feel now is the right time to go to market. We'll start as a nationwide CRM, lesson scheduling, a payment app with a £5 to £25 monthly subscription fee for instructors. Once we get enough instructor availability, we will expand to a marketplace model, charging a 7.5% booking fee. Our primary growth engine will be a referral scheme for existing students to recommend friends to driving instructors via the app. For independent driving instructors who are not in a school, our app facilitates co-opetition, so driving instructors can share students or provide cover in an emergency to help out the friends. So driving instructors will invite fellow driving instructors onto the app, acting as a secondary growth engine. We're currently ready to launch the MVP on Android and started to work with 70 driving instructors. Our short-term goal is to get to 100 paying customers through paid advertising. After that, we are looking for £50,000 pre-seed funding to finance a multi-pronged marketing campaign, scale up the app, and go nationwide with our full service. We aim to raise these funds through bootstrapping or exploring options through British Business Bank financing. Just lastly, to introduce the team, as you know, I'm Joe. I have a background in engineering and science, currently studying an MSc in entrepreneurship and innovation. James has a first-class integrated master's in computer science and currently works as a software developer full-time. Just to finish, I'd like to ask if you do know any driving instructors or schools that would be interested in using the app, please send them my way, as we are currently looking for beta users. If you do have any questions, please get in touch. Thanks for listening.
Well done, Joe. Well done. Your time to take a deep breath and relax. So next we'll go to Divyesh, please.
Thank you very much, Sam, and thank you everyone for attending. So here, myself and my co-founder Ayo, we are here with our startup Tattel. Just before we begin, I've got a video that I'm going to play for our champion, and then I'll hand over to Ayo, who will continue start the pitch. So if you give me a second, I'm going to share my screen.
Hi everyone, I'm Maz. I'm a project manager at the University of Leicester. I'm working here supporting the Tattel. I'm an advocate for the app. It's fantastic. It's a great way to connect students, and it's a really good way for students to get in touch with people in and around the Leicester area.
Yeah, so that was just a very quick introduction from our champion. So just tell you who she is. She introduced herself. She's Maria. She's from University of Leicester. She's a project manager for employability and grad retention at the University of Leicester, and that video was taken from Tuesday, just gone. Myself and Aya, we were at the spring recruitment fair, so we took that video there. So that's a little bit about her and why she believes in us as a startup. Aya, you there? You can.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Ayo, co-founder of Tattel, as Divesh has said. As former students ourselves, Divesh and I realized how difficult it is for many students to transit from academia to industry. Questions like, what skills do I need? How do I get through the door? Are some of the questions that the students have. Sadly, careers fairs and connection requests on LinkedIn do not help with this problem. To validate this, statistics show that 80% of employers believe that graduates are not work ready. According to research also, there are 11 sought after skills that hiring managers usually search for in candidates. Unfortunately, data shows that only 27% of graduates can demonstrate these skills. Also, 70% of people found a job through connections in a company and casual communication. So these are some of the problems that we highlight, that we saw, and we thought to help out with Tattel. So to help with this, we have built an app that connects students and early career professionals with experienced professionals in their respective fields, giving them the opportunity for informal, non-corporate, low-pressure, casual conversations. Our solution is simple. Tattel helps you to find professionals, connect with them, and grow and develop their careers. Next slide, please. So how does this work? What makes us different is that we are localized and we are real time. So with Tattel Connections, you are connecting with a professional, with an experienced professional around where you live or around where you are at that moment, and it is also real time. We bring the market to the students rather than the other way around. So when you, and then because our platform works around the user, they chat and meet at their convenience. I'll hand over to Divesh now to take us through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Aya. So thank you for going through that. Now, I'm just going to talk about how our app works and what it is that it actually does. So this is a quick overview of how our app works. So essentially the way it works is you've got to create a profile. This is the actual UI of the app. So this is what the app looks like. So you have you have to create a profile essentially, and then the professional will see a live map, and you have these little pin bars here, and the pin bar will show them the professional's job role, where they work and what sector, depending on what they decide to show. The student can see this. It's within a 50-mile radius, which is deemed as local. They can then connect with them, send them a connection request, and should they want to, should both parties agree. So if the professional will, yes, we want to, mentor you and, we want to help. So the student and the professional, they both have about 7 days to talk. So we've given a 7-day time period. This is obviously, due to testing, and see if this is short enough, we can always extend this, but they have a 7-day time period where they can chat and then, sort of manage the expectations. And we've been given the option for them to meet over coffee and have like the casual conversation. So this is essentially what the app does, and they can basically search for whichever professional it is within their field. It could be lawyers, it could be software engineers, whatever. They just do a quick search based on the filter, and it will find them someone in their area that they can talk to help them through their career path. Talking about competitor analysis, there are 3 current competitor analysis close enough to us on the market. One's Bumble, which obviously is massive. You've got Lunch Club, and then there's Shaper. Some of you may have used this, so you already have an idea of what it does, but these are very focused on professional to professional. There's not that much of a student aspect to it. So we thought our app Tattel kind of focused on the student market, gives it that little bit of an edge. Now we do have a success story. We've not really launched yet. We're not launched yet. We are in MVP stage. We've just finished building the MVP. Everything has been bootstrapped. It's all in-house. So myself and Ida, we built it. But just recently, I put a student in contact with one of the mentors on Tattel that basically is on Tattel or signed up as a mentor. And I got feedback from them yesterday. This student here, he basically said he'd spoken to one of our mentors for interview or for an internship at an organization that he wanted to go to, and she was working there. And he basically said he got the job essentially. So he goes, because of Tattel, I was able to gain valuable insights from someone who worked for the organization I applied for to an internship. This helped me prepare for my interview. I was offered the role shortly after my interview, and I believe the Tattel experience was a big part of my success. So this is exactly what we stand for. And this was our very first success story. I got this information yesterday, so I was ecstatic when I heard that on our Tattel mentors, through our mentorship, the person was able to land their job. Yes, it was all manual because the app's not out. Myself and Aya, we're running it manually and via Zoom. So I'll get into that in a bit. Yes, market. Talking about the market. So based on our research, we've seen that there were 2.38 million students in the UK, out of which 1.9 million are students, actual UK students. From there, we aim to have 10,000 students on the app, which I'm going to go on to the roadmap next by the end of this year and start of 2023. So here's our roadmap. We started Tattel Connect, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, in December 2021. So we have a podcast that I run on Instagram Live, where I interview each of our mentors, a bit like basically Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. Took inspiration from that, and I started my own we started our own podcast where we talk about their mentor journeys and how they got there, and we open up to questions and answers from students. Onboarding professionals and student is our key idea at the minute. We're not looking for an investment. We've got a massive onboarding drive going on at the minute for both marketplaces, the students and the professionals. And the idea is that we want to basically launch the app by May 2022. And so as you can see here, 2023, 10,000 active users, 1,000 mentors, and then we're going to do a phased rollout. Myself, I'm a senior data engineer. Ayodeji, my co-founder, he's a senior data scientist. So we have high senior established roles within the data space. So we're going to basically use the data that we get back from this app and then decide on phased rollout city per city within the UK by the end of this year. 2024, a little ambitious, yes, I know, but we love to be a bit aggressive with our roadmap. 2024, we want to be launched across Europe with over 1 million users and a pre-seed of 150K by when we will be ESIS approved. And then 2025, which is in 3 years' time, we want to be a globally launched firm with over 10 million users tattling. Just before I finish off, we have an event tonight. So as I said, we're running Tattel via Zoom. So I did one a couple of weeks ago for data engineering. That was a massive success. We were a full house tonight. Ayodeji, my co-founder, and one of the other mentors on Tattel will be basically running a session tonight for data science career path. We had students who have signed up.
Sorry to cut, but we are, because we've got, I want to hear from the panel members, the other ones. Could you put that in the chat so we could get through to the other ones? But
yeah,
well done.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks very much for doing that.
Cheers.
That's great. Yeah, please put it in the chat because it sounds really useful. Next, we're going to go to Nicola from Dissertology, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nicola from Dissertology.com, the new online platform to help dissertation students from undergrads to PhDs. And this platform is born from my experience the last decade of teaching and supervising research students over the last decade in my associate professor role at De Montfort University. My platform's now going to be introduced by Neil Sheriff.
Hello, I'm Neil Sheriff, a senior lecturer at De Montfort University. It's a great pleasure to introduce Nicola's pitch. The problems that Nicola will share are real, and there's definitely a need for this solution. Having reviewed the platform, the interface, the capabilities and the content, I can say that they are far beyond what universities currently offer. Nicola is a highly credible, has a lot of leadership experience and is tech savvy and greatly ambitious. Based on my review, I'll be inviting my head of department to allow me to invite students to beta test this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil, who's with us today as well. So the three major problems that our platform is going to be addressing is that whilst universities do a fantastic job of explicitly teaching subject skills, in terms of the full set of soft skills needed to really unlock the full potential of our students and help them thrive, that is lacking. And also student well-being, the student stress levels are at record levels at the moment. For instance, 1 in 5 PhD students feel suicidal. Many are languishing and few are thriving and excelling. And the third issue is that we know that there's this large gap between what employers want and what graduates offer. So our solution is given that the huge, the millions of students, all with diverse needs, we're delivering hyper-personalized and customized learning experience across a whole range of soft skills. And as an accredited training provider, by the end of year one, we will have 7 deeply customized micro-credentials across a range of soft skills. So we are targeting a global market. There's over 25,000 universities with over 200 million dissertation students. Now, we all know that the e-learning market is huge, but as you can see from the plot, the course providers in this market, from edX to FutureLearn, they're all highly competitive. They offer a huge array of courses, but despite their huge market share, they offer a one-size-fits-all approach to their teaching. In terms of niche online providers, I mean, there's many, but in terms of direct competition, the new Sage campus, their platform is really engaging more so than the major players. But again, they're offering a one-size-fits-all. So this really sort of opens up a huge opportunity in our sizable niche to deliver hyper-personalized and customized content. So to reach this market, our route to market is to directly engage students in social media, which we're doing now, but not so far into the future. We think there's a real opportunity to invite universities to invest in the platform because they're acutely aware of the issues that we're tackling, but they're struggling to address. And further down the line, also real potential to introduce it into graduate trainee programs. So where are we now and what's our roadmap? Well, right now we are recruiting beta testers, and that's validating the sort of global appeal because our early beta testers are coming from all over the world. And next week we're releasing our first deeply customized course in self-awareness. So we're aiming to start monetizing in April with our first accredited micro-credential in self-awareness. So a year from the start of our monetizing, we are aiming to have about 2,500 learners to reach our 100,000 income target. And by then we'll have 7 customized courses. But we are being ambitious and we want to scale up once we've got that product solution and business model fit. And so we're really looking to have about between 10 and 20,000 learners to reach that 1 million revenue target. So whilst we're not ready for investment just yet, in 6 to 9 months' time, we'd really love to start talking about, and seeking pre-seed funding. So if anyone is potentially interested in investing, I'd be more than happy to provide bi-monthly one-page progress reports just to show what sort of traction that we're getting. Thank you very much for listening. I'm looking forward to your feedback and questions at the end.
Well done, Nicola. Thanks. You nailed the 5 minutes as well. Perfectly. Right. Next up, can we hear from Gamanity, please?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Katrin, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our presentation.
Hi, my name is Alvaro.
Yeah, we are co-founder of Gamanity Health and Cosmetics. We are based in Leicester, and we wanna introduce you to our journey.
So our journey started a few years ago. From my side, when I was a kid, I spent time with my grandmother. She taught me about traditional medicine, so this inspired me to become a scientist.
My journey was different. So when I grew up as a teenager, I suffered of bad skin condition. I tried many remedies, but nothing was helping me. So I started making my homemade remedies. I felt better with natural remedies. And I was also triggered to become a scientist to help other people's health issues.
So together with Katrin, we joined our ideas, and this is how Gamanity was born.
So let's dive into the natural cosmetic market. You can see in this slide like a representation on the left of the target customers and their behavior, and on the right, the size of the market, both in the UK and in Europe. And you can see the size of the market is in millions of pounds and billions of euros, so it's increasing massively.
So the key problem in the natural cosmetic market is now there is a trend of growing natural products The main problem is there is a big confusion about what is natural, which products are actually natural. There is a lack of information about certifications, about ingredients, if these chemicals or these ingredients are safe. So our competitors are trying to solve these problems. However, the formulations is still not suitable for sensitive skin, so they may produce some allergies. There is poor communication about the ingredients, about what they mean being natural, and also they are not socially engaged or environmentally engaged to these causes. So you have still present harmful chemicals that causes skin allergies, and you also have this problem of the massive plastic waste because of the containers.
Yeah, so why to choose Gamanity? Why to choose our products? So firstly, we have a strong communication with our community about the ingredients to use, the best use of the products. We provide safe formulations backed up by science. So they are made by skilled scientists. We also combine biotechnology with natural skincare, which is something very unique in this area. And also we are plastic-free, environmentally friendly, and we support the empowerment of women. And when we ask our customers the main reasons why are they buying our products, first of all, they love the formulations. They are way more effective than all the other leader brands that they've tried. And besides that, of course, because of the other values that we have in our company and the plastic-free packaging.
So this is a plot just to show where is our brand compared to the main competitors. Regarding also the formulation, so you have natural and synthetic and generic and personalized characteristics. So our brand is in the natural and personalized formulations. Also because we are currently developing an app that will provide information about skin conditions, and you can track actually your skin conditions. So this is why we are personalized and natural.
Our business model for a scale-up strategy is based on B2B through collaborations with shops, zero-waste shops, fair trade, eventually also beauty and luxury spa. At the moment, we established some strong collaborations with some retailers based through strong communication, and the feedback we got, it's really amazing so far.
So here we would like to show you where to find us. Currently, we have collaborating with some shops in the UK, also in Belgium. We have distribution also in Italy and Austria, and we have 2 manufacturing points, one in the UK and the other one in Belgium.
Our team is composed mainly by the 2 of us and freelancers who help us by project. And yeah, we are split in between the UK team and the Europe team.
So here I would like to show you our projection. So we are in year 2022. We are projecting a break even this year. So we are looking for seed capital for 3 main reasons. We want to expand our team, also to increase our manufacturing facilities, and also to solidify more our distribution channels.
And yeah, this is to conclude. We want to show you our catalog here with all the products, and please have a read at the amazing feedbacks that we had from shop managers. And I want to stress out, these are shop managers who try constantly many products from all the competitors, and they are really convinced that our products are doing better. So thank you very much for listening, and we are looking forward to all your comments.
Thank you very much.
Well done, both. Your turn to relax. Feel free to put any links in the chat to share with the audience. So 2 left to go. I'm going to ask Sean from Reignite to pitch next, please.
Hi, I'm Jack Tichin, Head of Digital at Venture Ashore. We're the world's largest independent shore excursion provider, delivering thousands of experiences to cruise customers at ports around the world. We've been working with Reignite for a couple of years now. Building on our email strategy, personalization, right across the customer lifecycle. Harnessing our data and working with Reignite to do that, to turn that into actionable insight, has resulted in incremental gains in engagement and also revenue. It's been really powerful for us, and we're continually looking at how we can work with Reignite to build on some of those already fantastic results.
So 90% of UK online retail revenue is generated through email marketing. And it could be so much more, with up to 6 times the revenue from personalized campaigns compared to the one-size-fits-all messaging. But only 4% of brands have the ability to personalize on a one-to-one basis. Brands struggle with this level of personalization because the current methods are too manual, they don't scale. The current email technology stack they have doesn't have the functionality, and IT and data teams are too busy to help. So over the last 20 years, we've been building highly personalized email marketing campaigns for clients to help improve their customer retention and revenue. But as the personalization features of the email marketing service they use are limited, we've always had to end up building bespoke code. So we've taken the learnings from everything we've done and developed an easy-to-use online solution that allows marketers to create their own personalized email recipes that works with every email marketing service without the need for ongoing IT and data team support, or still maintaining all the flexibility that our bespoke solutions offer. We go through an example of how this works. We've got 2 different customers here, Rebecca and Sarah. They have different shoe sizes, different tastes, different browsing history. Typically, the brand would send them the same email, so everybody would get the same product content. And in this case, none of these products would be of any interest to them. So instead, with Reignite, we can define the personalization logic, use it with our AI product recommendations. That means every customer will get shoes available in their size, from the brands that they like, based on stuff they've previously browsed, and effectively something they're more likely to be interested in. Our technology has already been powering millions of email campaigns, so we've had some great successes across various different clients in increasing their revenue. And in terms of competing solutions, we can break it down to 3 main areas. There's the email marketing platforms themselves, but their personalization technology is quite limited. You can't really get to one-to-one level email personalization. Then you have a whole series of tools which brand themselves email personalization solutions, but their personalization tends to be quite low value in terms of things like weather forecasts, countdown timers. They don't really have any sort of logic around defining what goes into an email in what order for each individual customer. Then a lot of people might try and use their website recommendation engines, which often have a sort of an email channel option. That's always an afterthought, though. It doesn't really address how personalization differs between email, where we need to inspire that next purchase, and the website, where it's all about converting the current search into the conversion. So Reignite, we've built from the ground up to solve the specific personalization challenges for email. It puts the marketer in charge without needing any ongoing internal tech support. And it works with every single email platform. We work with retail, travel, online marketplaces, sectors where email marketing is really important for customer retention. It tends to be large business with at least £5 million worth of online revenue. Our typical annual contract revenue is around £25,000 a year mark. Our pricing scales based upon how much they're using our platform. So the more emails that get opened, the more the list grows, the greater the revenue for us. The email marketing industry itself has got a little crazy over the last 12 months. So we've seen the likes of MailChimp being sold for $12 billion. We've had relative newcomers like Iterable reaching $100 million a year annual recurring revenue. And in the UK, UK online retail sales, $29 billion worth of pounds worth are attributed to email marketing. And the investment's growing all the time. 98% of brands say they're going to increase their spend on email marketing over the next couple of years. Personalization is the #1 priority. 57% of brands say that is their main email marketing priority going forward. There's 2 of us in the team, both with extensive experience in the email marketing industry. Myself across commercial and client success roles in the last 20 years. My co-founder, who's 15 years experience in developing email marketing technology. Yeah, and thanks for listening. So later this year, we intend on seeking funding. If you'd like to chat further with us about that, becoming a partner with us, please get in touch. And if anyone else has any further questions about Reignite, please feel free to contact me.
Great job, Sean. Well done. Thank you. And finally, but by no means least of all, the Savings P team. I'm not sure which, we've got several on the call, I think.
Hi, my name is Adolu, and we are Saving Ps. Clearly, Sam has saved the best for the last. So let me tell you about our story. So Saving Ps was born out of young professionals struggling with our finances. So we decided to bring our expertise together and come up with a simple solution. And having solved it for ourselves, we want to share it with the world. Do you know, for some context, that 1 in 5 millennials say they spend 60% of their income on payday? Furthermore, 2 in 5 say over the last 5 years, their debt has increased. and it's concerning to them. Thank you, Klarna. Thank you, easy access to credit. But it's no surprise that 3 in 5 say they have no savings whatsoever. But that's a problem, because if you consider the current cost of living is increasing, and these people are already living paycheck to paycheck and are unable to save for an emergency fund, and the same people desire to have investments and purchase property and have no savings towards it. And finally, if you also consider that they also say that they cannot make debt-free purchases, and if you consider the increase in interest rates, you know that there needs to be an alternative approach to finance.
And the solution is Saving Peas, a digital platform that helps users save using artificial intelligence. We provide safe spending insights. We also have a feature that allows the users to see how they can save money as they spend, and our star feature, Clubbing Together, allowing users to connect with trusted family and friends in order to pool money together for large purchases. So how does this work? Essentially, you go on the app stores, you download the app, you're able to link your bank account via open banking, and from there you'll get a visual representation as to how your spending habits look like, and you can see areas where you can improve. You're also able to set financial goals using our pots feature, and you're able to see how these pots fill up with our save as you spend feature. So this can be used to fund things like investments, or also to set up things like an emergency fund. And then the Clubbing Together, users are able to invite other friends and family to a saving circle, a closed saving space, whereby they pool money together and take it in turns to draw on that pool. And this can be used for large purchases, debt-free. In addition, it's also a place where the social and the finance meet together, and you can pool money for hangouts and also holidays as well.
There are two perspectives to understanding our market: customer and competitive perspective. Our target market are the UK millennials and Gen Zs. Why these groups? They comprise 24.5 million of the UK population. 17.7 million of these already use fintech apps, and at least 7.6 million have no savings. Indeed, they've embraced fintech solutions, are experiencing pain points that we are solving, and constitute a large portion of the market, which fits into our numbers strategy. Our route to market is through our referral and reward system. We will be doing a series of lifestyle-focused events to create sales and outreaches with the aim of building buzz around our product. As you will see from our competitor matrix, Stepladder come closest to our unique selling point, which is pooled savings. However, we differ from them and other competitors since our USP centers on using artificial intelligence in conjunction with our Clubbing Together feature to connect the finance with the social.
So how would we make money, you will ask? We plan on running a subscription model. We've got 99p on our student plan, which is targeted at Gen Zs, and our regular plan is 199. Over the next 3 years, we aim to achieve 200,000 users. We know that's a conservative estimate, especially considering what is happening in the industry at the moment. So where are we now? We've got our FCA registration. We've got our MVP ready. You saw it demoed in a couple of slides. We're in beta testing at the moment. We're testing with our target market, seeing how they are engaging with our product and how they are interacting with it. So why should you invest with us? It's the team. We're very passionate and dedicated. I myself have a PhD in innovative economics. I have investment banking experience, consulting experience. Our CTO, Ari, has a PhD in machine learning and artificial intelligence. We've got Toby, Dr. Toby there, who has experience in founding a digital platform. And then Precious has a PhD in marketing and consumer behavior. Not forgetting Imran, who has experience in investment banking with JP Morgan. And so what's our ask today? The first thing we want to ask for is network in the industry. We want to surround ourselves with a solid advisory board. The fintech world is highly dynamic, highly competitive, and we need the right advisors. We need shoulders to be able to stand on. Also, we're looking to raise 150K for 10% in our business. We've already committed 25K into the business. This money will be used for our customer acquisition and optimizing our tech so that we can achieve our target in year one. Thank you very much for listening. Looking forward to your feedback.
Well done, Saving Peas. impressive team. And we're now saving the best to last because I completely forgot about Playrz. No, I'm joking. No one's best. Sorry, Sean. Other Sean, Sean Dale. Would you mind going next, please?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Dale Shobamimu, and today I would like to introduce to you my startup, a next-generation online gaming tournament platform, Playrz. So, what is the problem? The gaming industry has always been powered by the gamers. They buy the latest consoles, they buy the latest games, they make in-game purchases for skins or loot boxes, but what do they actually gain? Because when the next edition is released, none of that stuff rolls over. There doesn't exist a dedicated space in the internet for gamers to come together and socialize, even if what you call socializing is shouting at a computer screen. The current market in esports is based off of sponsorships and players giving to external partners or by selling their media rights to esports teams. And also, the current systems that exist to reward players are still flagshipping FIFA 2019 as their lead title. It also takes quite some time for them to verify the results of games played online. So players are left idle, waiting to receive their rewards. Our solution is very simple. Playrz is an online gaming platform that enables users worldwide to connect and compete in gaming tournaments to win cash prizes. We do this by allowing users to stream directly into our platform via their preferred streaming method and collecting all this data into one big social platform. Then we matchmake them with opponents of similar skills and pay out whoever emerges victorious. The global gaming market is enormous, in and around $175 billion, with the UK generating almost 8 billion of that. If any of you have kids or young adults at home, you'll understand the increased amount of time they've spent playing video games since COVID and lockdown began. This enabled them to still socialize with friends in a world where they weren't allowed to, but also gave them an escape from reality. As we move more towards a reality escaping world, this market is only going to get bigger with projections of over $200 billion by 2023. The business model is shown simply with an example of our lowest barrier to entry tournament, the £1 tournament, where 8 participants enter for £1 each and the winner earns £5. The runner-up also gets their entry fee back and we would make a profit of £2 off of that tournament. The same model is then repeated for our other tournaments with entry fees of £3, £5 and £10 respectively. But we also intend to host larger seasonal events where we invite the top performers to a tournament that's free to enter but has an enormous payout to the winners. In terms of competition, there are quite a few operators in this space, but I've charted the biggest ones. Many of the online tournament providers only offer 1v1 matchups and then take a fee from both users. By using the tournament model, we can ensure higher rewards whilst also compensating the runner-ups, incentivizing them to play again. But the main way in which we differ, and is what makes us unique, is our verification process. The existing services require gamers to use phones to take a picture of their screen and upload it to allow the service to go and verify the result before releasing the funds. We completely automate the verification process by extracting the data from the streams through our software, which allows us to instantly update the system, and in the future will enable us to send push notifications to users' followers when they score goals and win games. At the start of the accelerator, it was just me, Sean Dale Shobamimu, aka Shawnee Shogs, a University of Leicester graduate in computer science who had been working in the industry for over 2.5 years. But I had an itch and I really needed to scratch it. I very quickly realized I was going to need some help with that itch, which led me to find a co-founder. Meet Ibrahim Ghaffar, aka ID Gaff, and that is no pun intended. Gaff has a vast marketing and branding experience working for a leading packaging company based in Leicester with clients as big as Samsung, Tesla, and Cartier. We became a lot closer during lockdown via the PlayStation group we all formed and spent many days and nights laughing and shouting at each other. Another group that became close during lockdown were a group of FIFA players and friends, Straight Corn, which we have formed a partnership with to host their content via our platform. So far since the 1st of January, when our landing page has launched, we've seen interest from social media as well as direct searches from Europe to Asia. This is all whilst we've been developing the MVP product with a launch plan for April. We've also set up an in-person free-to-enter FIFA tournament with a £150 cash prize. This takes place next week, Friday, at Goals Leicester, and we'll have 48 participants playing for the prize. We intend to use this event to capture social media content, as well as a chance to interview and research the players in our market. The next steps after our event will be to launch our web app in April with the Straight Corn partnership, then followed by an in-person event in Birmingham and Manchester, all whilst building the mobile app. By August, we intend to have 500 million monthly active users and then to launch the mobile app. But our main target for this year is the Qatar World Cup, which we intend to go to and host an event as well as get content from a global platform to grow our monthly active users to over 1,000, before expanding into other markets. If we achieve this, we estimate that we would be completing over 900 tournaments a month, giving us revenues of over 400,000. We intend to do our best bootstrapping our way to find product market fit, but that isn't to say we aren't looking for investment. We would like to raise £50,000 as a small family and friends round to help us go full-time into this by developing an efficient marketing campaign and speed up the development of the mobile app. I would like to say thank you for all your time today. And if you would like to know more or know someone who may be interested, feel free to drop me an email or connect via our social medias to stay up to date with the latest news and progress on Playrz. I hope to hear from some of you soon. Thank you.
Well done, Sean. And well done to all of you. That's it. Those are our 9. We've run over time as usual, but I think that's just a reflection of information they want to share with you. So we've got 13 minutes left to talk with our 4 panel members. It's not as much time as I'd hoped for. So I will try and get around each of you. This looks like sort of 3 or 4 minutes each. We haven't got enough time to do individual feedback, but Sam, if I could go to you first. Is there anything that you want to say particularly to any one of them? Mindful that we could connect after this and, you know, we can do a deeper dive, but anything you want to share, or is there a sort of an overarching theme around, I'd like to see more of this or less of that?
I mean, I've got notes coming out.
Thought you might.
So actually what I was going to suggest is I'll write these up and send them through to you so that
oh, wow.
we won't be able to do individual feedback. I would like to give that to each of the companies, because I thought, you know, great job in terms of the amount of work that's gone into all of them was phenomenal.
Yes.
Two things that came across in terms of, I guess, it's not for everyone, but 2 things I would have liked to see a little bit more of relatively generically. One was around the realities of your current situation. So in probably 6 of the 9, I wasn't clear on exactly where you are right now, where you are in terms of product, where you are in terms of launch, where you are in terms of any monetization that you've done. A number of you did, but the majority didn't. The other area that, if I'm pulling out themes, was a consideration of competitors outside of your direct industry. So there were again three of you, and I'll put this in the individual feedback, whereby I thought, you know, a great idea, but I wonder whether you've looked outside of what is a relatively narrow industry to see what other competitors are out there, just to understand barriers to entry and who else might be out there in that competitive space. I don't really know where else to go in terms of specifics. I've got two that I was particularly impressed with, if that's useful. Across the board, I thought actually the bar was high, and I've given feedback and been through 2 of these demo days before, so this is the 3rd one of those that I've done. Very high quality. And I probably will get in touch directly with a few of you. The 2 that actually particularly whet my appetite were the last 2. So Saving Peas and Playrz. I thought very interesting, largely in terms of the market, actually. So on Saving Peas, where you've got to right now, your clarity of presentation and sort of how far down the road you've got. I think the open banking piece, I'm working with a couple of other organizations that are using that now, really quite interesting. And Playrz, I mean, you tapped right into I've got 3 teenage boys, so I kind of get it. Get the platform, get where you're trying to go. Really interesting. I do have some big questions around gambling addiction side of things, but that I'll put that sort of stuff in feedback. I don't know what else.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
I can give you the 7, but I think in terms of if I do that on email, I can do it specifically for all of you.
Well, look, if it would help, I mean, you and I could connect over Zoom. I could record the session, save you typing it up. So the offer's out, whatever makes it easy for you.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
Great.
That would be great.
Thanks, Sam. That was really insightful. Sharon, could I go to you next, please?
Thank you, Sam. Hi, everyone. Really great pictures right across the board. The quality of your pitching was brilliant. Because I knew we were going to be short on time, I've got one key thing for each of you. So I will just run through it. But there's a couple, one company in particular that I'd love to pick up with online after this. So Stak, route to market, may be worthwhile checking out medical insurance firms. And really thinking about that angle of how do you get that kind of broader client base and that access to market, because the prices seemed quite high, which might be okay for private patients, but your majority of your patients are going to be NHS patients. So maybe going through insurance companies and medical insurance companies might be another route to consider. Membrance, just a question. It seems like your product and your solution is very much tailored towards Christian funerals. So just a question around, is there an option for diversification? What about people from different cultures, backgrounds, religions, that type of thing? Book a driving instructor, and the same for Tattel. Marketplace business models, they are so marketing intensive and so high cost. The cost of acquisition and ongoing marketing, like really take a look at that and challenge yourselves around that, because from an investor's point of view, we're a little bit tired of marketplaces. Like, it's overcrowded, there's too many, we don't want more apps. Have a think about it. But I do understand the problem you're trying to solve. Just try and think of another way around it. Dissertology, you talked about the courses being really personalized, but you didn't tell us about how they're personalized. So the impression I got was that the personalization came from picking the modules that you want. So maybe in your pitch, build in a little bit of a teaser around what that personalization actually looks like. The skills were brilliant, and I could actually see graduate schemes in big banks like NatWest picking this up. So really, really great stuff there. Gamanity, massively crowded marketplace. So you really need to think about how are you going to get traction. Your whole business has got to be sales focused, and actually working with a couple of beauty product businesses. I'm speaking from experience, despite getting loads of media coverage, loads of attention, actually managing to get into some high profile shops, sales are still low. So really think about that. Reignite, it seems like your target market would be big corporate. So I would really think about your cost of acquisition for customers. Typically, big companies take a long time to say yes to something. And once they say yes, it takes even longer to get onboarded. So that cash flow piece, what's that cost of acquisition? Really build that into your business model and your financial structure, just to ensure that you don't end up at a place where you've got a brilliant pipeline, you're speaking to great companies, but you just need more runway to get through their own systems. Saving Peas, I got so excited when I heard about your problem statement, because I see it, I hear it. I work for a bank and it's one area that we're looking at, but I'm gutted because you focused on the functionality that's already available in banking apps. Could you possibly look at the behavioral change and how do you build that into what you're doing? Because the functionality is there, you're using open banking, it's really popular right now. But if you can demonstrate not just the functionality, but how do we get people saving, that's going to be the strong point. And also the offer is, I would love to connect you to the innovation team at NatWest and see, you ask for some advisors. If we can get some colleagues that work in innovation at NatWest to come along and talk to you, would be happy to support. And then last but not least, Playrz. I don't know the gaming industry beyond the fact that my boys game. But the thing that came up in my mind, much to what Samantha said around the gaming and the gambling element, but also the regulatory side of things. So just make sure that you've kind of really looked at that entire regulatory piece around gaming, online payments, that type of thing. So there's a big risk marker there. I'd really spend some time working with a corporate lawyer if you can, just to make sure you get that completely ironed out. That's it. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Sharon. I completely forgot to do a round of intros to the panel and the risk of trying to get this in. So you're diversity inclusion partner at commercial banking NatWest, is that right?
So that's what I do right now.
Right.
My background is economic development, international trade and startups. So I've personally coached hundreds of startups as part of the NatWest Accelerator, which was the UK's largest accelerator program. But I personally coach and mentor startups, have some really good successes with some brilliant exits and high-flying businesses. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Sharon. Sorry, Sam, I forgot to. You're a early stage investor, is that right? You have a portfolio of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Right, Kanishka, could we go to you next, please? Quick intro, if you may, and then just any. I mean, we can record this at another time, and I can get more detailed feedback. Or, we've only got a few minutes left.
Sounds super helpful. So I'll be very, very quick. Hi, everyone. I'm Kanishka. I lead European investments for a US venture capital firm. We invest in fintech businesses anywhere between 500,000 to 15 million. Got 140 companies, 14 unicorns, hoping the 15th one is a Leicester startup one. So super excited to see everyone. Look, I'll keep my comments super brief. I have just two things to add. I think Samantha and Sharon have covered a bunch of very specific feedback. One, I thought the product and team aspects of everyone's presentations were super strong. I think the distribution and unit economics pieces were underweight. If you're, and kind of related to that, on the unit economics piece, if you're a consumer business, you've got to pay attention to what Sean Duffy's building and how you're going to be differentiating getting to customers at an efficient cost of acquiring customers. So every slide has to have a sense of what your unit cost of acquiring a customer is going to be and how that compares to the lifetime value or the revenue you're likely to get from a customer. If you're an enterprise business selling to businesses, exactly as Sharon was saying, you have to have a sense of what the sales cycle look like. How long does it take to not just sell and close a sale, but then integrate? And so, Sean, I was very interested in that question for you. How long does it take to integrate? Your ACV is relatively high, 25K. You get 400 businesses, you're a 10 million business. So what is the sales cycle? How you're building that force internally? For example, for Sarah, how do you get 5 Sarah so you can really scale this and kind of make this a scale business at large? So those are the comments. Distribution and unit economics, I think, are fundamental, in addition to, I think, fantastic products and teams.
Fantastic. Really, really simple. Thank you very much. And then David, if you wouldn't mind a quick intro, please, and any thoughts, feedback.
I think it looks like I've got 2 minutes, but I'll be quick. My background is advertising and marketing. The last 12 years, I've been involved in angel investing and chairing startups. I've probably chaired 10 or 12. I've had 3 or 4 exits over the last 10 to 12 years. I actually invested in a business in the last round, actually with Sam. I thought this is my second or third one of these. I thought the quality of the presentations was much higher. I thought some of them were too long. 22 charts for 5 minutes. It's too long. I thought the quality was good. What I would say is I got to the end of a few of them and I didn't understand what they did. So I think you need to be really clear on what you do and how you do it. That's what people want to understand. I think the other, what the other people have said is absolutely spot on. I think don't fall into the trap of just assuming that you need to go out into the market and raise funds. There is that old-fashioned thing where you could try and make the business profitable straight away, or do it with a small level of raise from friends and family, which a lot of the companies are looking at doing that. And I'm saying all this because obviously I've written a book about it, about how you go and raise funds. So that helps prepare people for the fundraising process. But I thought, pretty good quality. I thought there were several where I felt like I'd seen it before. I see a lot of this stuff. And I felt like there wasn't a lot of differentiation. And I agree with the last speaker who it's, how do you grow these businesses to be of a business size rather than just a smallish organization that probably just funds the people who are currently in it. You know, how do you scale these businesses? And I think thinking about how you scale it, other than here's the standard, you know, business plans that I've been told to put together, which is, you know, lose a bit of money in the first few years, break even, then make a profit. So I think that's a thumbnail sketch. I've taken a load of notes and I'm very happy to put those through. And a final thing is, I think being much clearer on exactly what it is you are looking for. I think after the first 3 or 4, I was still not clear what they were looking for from whoever they felt they were presenting to. So, but it's easy to say that 5 minutes is not very much time. And, you know, I've probably given them a 25-minute presentation to do in 5 minutes, having told them not to be too long. So apologies.
No. Well, I welcome the opportunity to connect with you later, David, to record the details. I've also put the link to your book in there, The Money Train, well worth reading if you look. Yeah, so I've read it and really enjoyed it. So we're just over time. I've got to thank, obviously, the 4 panel members again. Of course, the 9 accelerator participants. I've really enjoyed this one, genuinely enjoyed it. We are running another one next month. You can find details on our website, co-working space, but yeah, enough plugging of what we do. So that's it, folks. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks very much. And Sam and David, I'll email you and perhaps we can connect in. I can get the detailed notes to the startup. So there we go. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks very much.